So my name is Natasha Phipps. I am a investor-focused realtor and investor myself first and foremost. So I've been licensed for 16 years as a realtor in Calgary, but I've been investing in the Calgary market for over 20 years now, actually. So I have seen a lot in the Calgary economic cycle, but it's taught me a lot. And it's something that we pride ourselves on at our team is to really take all that knowledge and be strategic with our investors in the Calgary marketplace. So Phipps Real Estate Group, we do offer residential, commercial, and property management services in Calgary. I'm also the CEO of Wellshare Real Estate Investment Trust. So I'm investing in the residential space as well as the multifamily space in Alberta. So pretty well live and breathe real estate every single day here. And our team, as I said, we are specialized in the investment space, but we can assist with anything in Calgary. So whatever your needs are, please reach out and we'll be here to help you. So let's talk about what is going on in Alberta, but Calgary specifically. So the first thing I learned about in real estate, which I joined REIN, about 10 years ago, wanting to kind of double down on my knowledge. And that's actually where I met Cynthia first and then the rest of the team here. And the first thing that stuck in my mind was following the people. Where are the people going? And Calgary and Alberta has been on many Canadians' minds for the last few years for several reasons. But what has been happening? Where have the people been going? And it's really about net migration and international migration into Alberta. We have seen record-breaking numbers in the last few years, and it's created a massive housing shortage in Calgary and the rest of the province. So that is why the demand is so high. But what are these people seeking is what's important. It's no secret that in the last 5 years, many Canadians have struggled with affordability, with high interest rates, high inflation, and these people are moving to Calgary and Alberta for that reason. They're really trying to make the numbers work. And then they're also attracted to the lifestyle as well in Calgary and Alberta. It's been interesting in the last few years. I travel a lot, go to a lot of events, and the first thing people often mention when they're talking about Calgary is the lifestyle. That's what they're interested in. So people are moving here for affordability, but I think the staying power is really around that Alberta lifestyle that they are attracted to. So as you can see on these graphs, just how substantial the immigration and population growth has been. It is now, this is for all of Alberta, not just Calgary specifically, but it's important to think about which cities people are moving to and why. And Calgary is the kind of white collar driver of the province. So if they're more of a blue collar type worker, they might look at Edmonton over Calgary. If they are a highly skilled professional or want to become one or entrepreneurial, they're likely looking at Calgary first. So that is kind of usually how they're selecting which market to look at. So as was mentioned earlier, our tenant demographic and tenant profile in Calgary is incredible right now. Just the amount of skilled professionals, highly educated and trained people moving to Calgary for affordability, but also they're going to be adding some great economic drivers to our city, which is really exciting. I was joking that there's just planefuls of people from Ontario coming to Calgary and making it their new home. So what is driving the migration? Because this does tie into, as investors, what should we be investing in? And why are these people moving here and what are they looking for? So we talked about affordability. One benefit of moving to Alberta from other major Canadian cities is people can get more space. They can get more for their money. So as investors, we want to make sure we're looking at products that make sense for those people. So affordability can kind of fall into two buckets, I would say. If people can afford that single family type of lifestyle and they're moving their family and they want to, set down some roots, then the single family housing market has done very well. And in fact, from an investor's perspective, 5, 10, even 15 years in Alberta, that has really been the most stable, most predictable, secure investment type, single family housing, ideally with secondary suites, because these people are putting down roots. They want to stay for a while. And Calgary is a very different city than our other major Canadian city friends in that you can live in the suburbs, have your suburban life, commute to your job downtown with a 30-minute drive and go back home. That is very different than Vancouver or Toronto, where I know a lot of my friends and colleagues, 60-minute drive is not a big deal to them. So that lifestyle is really, really important. The second and third pieces here do go hand in hand, the labor market, as well as what is diversifying our economy. The biggest question I always get, especially when I leave Calgary, is, well, what about the oil sector? What about the cycles that Alberta has gone through? And that is absolutely true. However, what is different right now is the diversification that our economy is seeing in Calgary. And I do think that is a major contributing factor to why we are seeing so much growth here. So the price of oil is not a topic like it used to be every single day for most of my life. That was what we would all talk about around the cooler kind of thing. That's not the case anymore. And that diversification is what is giving me confidence as an investor, and what is giving other investors confidence, large funds, large groups, why they're looking at Calgary. We have more diversification than we've ever seen. Calgary has the highest concentration of high-tech workers in the country. We have a massive growing financial sector, and there is just a strong, diverse array of corporate head offices making Calgary home. So we're attracting incredible talent to our city, and those people need somewhere to live. We combine that with the lifestyle. Being so close to the mountains is a huge thing, right? From my door to be in the mountains is 35 minutes. I am out of the city, out and exploring what we have to offer in Alberta. Vacancy rates, this is a big one. We, like most of the country, are undersupplied. However, the data on the vacancy side is always a bit lagging, right? We're usually about a year behind what is accurate. And what I wanted to highlight, so all of this vacancy, data is correct. We have seen massive declines in our vacancy rate. 2023, it was just over 1%. So not a lot available. People are struggling. Students are struggling, and that will continue. But what we are seeing now is there is plenty of purpose-built rentals that are coming to market, and we are going to see some kind of stabilization around that, I do feel. Why I want to point that out is kind of what we should be looking at as investors in our city. And if you're familiar with Calgary, you'll know that downtown and the suburban market are two very different worlds. In fact, they're two different markets altogether. And so when you're looking at vacancy rates, make sure you're kind of dialing into the specific region that you're looking at, because it can be very different in the downtown market and the suburban market. When Calgary's kind of gone through their cycles over the years, downtown is usually where you have the most risk, you have the most volatility, because of the high density that we have in that market. So if you want the most kind of safe, boring, predictable thing, even in the worst years, vacancy rates, the market has been extremely stable in this suburban market, whereas downtown and inner city can be a little bit more volatile due to the density there. Affordability challenges are an issue though. So the even today, for more affordable type housing, I would say it's between 0 and 1% for what is available. So there is opportunity there to, market to those individuals specifically, taking advantage of some of the programs, even on the financing side in the commercial space. So what is going on in the market specifically? These charts are always a little bit misleading. So I want to point out a few things. So the pace of the price growth that we've seen in the last several years has started to slow. That is because supply has been rising. So today, I would consider Calgary to be, in speaking generally, a more balanced market condition, which is a good thing if you're wanting to invest in Calgary. A year ago, we were in, full on extreme shortage on the supply side. And it was so competitive to try to invest in the marketplace that investors were having to, compete and no conditions and rush. And so we are seeing more balanced market conditions now. And that is a result of a lot of the new construction that is coming online and is starting to hit the market, which is a good thing. So let's kind of dive into this. The benchmark price is compared to Vancouver, very low. And so this is the kind of numbers that attract people to Calgary to buy or rent, is the pricing. So benchmark price is just under 600,000. Our sales, as you can see there, are down just over 17% from previous year. But last fall was a record-breaking, number of sales. So I'm not super surprised on that side of it. My most important number on this chart for Calgary or any city is always the months of supply, because that tells me what kind of market condition we're in and how I should take that information as an investor. So we are sitting at 2.53 months of supply. However, this is for the whole city. So if we were looking at above 700,000, for example, this number is going to be a lot higher. So the demand really is in the affordable options under what our average price point is. So under the average price point, they will be less supply because there is more demand, not as much available. Higher price points, there is a lot more available. Next slide. Okay, so what are the trends that we're seeing out in the marketplace? Higher priced properties are what is driving that extra supply. So less competition in the little bit higher priced. And what you can even do as an investor in that space is see what's kind of sitting for a little bit, because as the market got hot, I definitely think a lot of sellers got a little greedy. And I think we could see some opportunities coming to the marketplace there where listings were overpriced, they've been sitting, and they need to come down a little bit. If it's been priced well, it will sell 100%. But above 700, we are seeing a bit more slower sales and inventory increasing. The apartments and townhouses, though, this is where we are seeing massive demand. And this is also where there is opportunity for sure for investors in Calgary. During the recession and our kind of hardest years, the largest volatility and upset was very much in the higher density products, so condos and townhouses. As we recovered, demand really began in the suburbs in the single family space. As pricing has gone up on the rental side as well as the purchase side, folks have had to decrease their requirements. So if they were interested in single family housing, now they're having to move into apartments and townhouses. So we are seeing significant demand there and largest valuation increases. So the high appreciation started in the single family. Now we're seeing it in condos and apartments. And on this next slide, what I want to point out here is the inner city and suburban topic. So if I was buying, for example, a condo right now in Calgary, looking at the very center of this map, you will see that the year-over-year appreciation for city center is only 2.3%. But this is the sort of last part of our market to recover. It is what got hit the hardest. It is what has taken the longest to recover just because of volume of units. So this, as an investor, is it something we can think strategically about. So looking at our downtown and city center, when most investors right now are really focused in the suburbs, is where I would be looking to get ahead of things. This is where the market is going to shift to next, because pricing in the suburbs has just gotten too difficult for many folks to be able to enter the market with. West side of the city historically is the most stable, desirable part of the city, very much driven by the mountains. The more west you go, the more luxurious the real estate gets. I'm actually going to skip these. I want to talk about these next two slides. So I want to talk about condos in Calgary. So I just mentioned we can look at condos in Calgary, and I want to talk about why they are not created equally. I'm seeing a lot of investors from all over the country investing in pre-construction condos in Calgary. I'm not against the strategy by any means, but there is a big but to this in Calgary. They are really not created equally. So as I just mentioned, condos have been the most volatile part of our city, and really any city, they always will be. But you need to be strategic here. What's not being considered with these out-of-province investors investing in condos is what the future development might be around it. And a lot of these investors want short-term gains and to exit quickly at completion or to assign these units. And that is very, very difficult to do. So this is my like cautionary flag that I'm waving. If you are looking at condos in Calgary, assigning them is not a strategy. We have many assignment opportunities come to us, and it's very difficult for us to sell those. So make sure you're intending to close. Make sure you have a long-term horizon with these condos. And if you do want to look at pre-construction right now, I'm going to share a couple opportunities. I would be looking downtown specifically and in the kind of surrounding areas. So Airdrie is a city just north of Calgary that I think is poised for incredible growth and development, whereas the suburban part of Calgary, the exterior, I'm a little bit hesitant if we don't have that long-term view, because what we have in Calgary is plenty of land. It's not like Victoria or Vancouver where we have a land issue. We have plenty of land, guys. We can keep developing for years and years and years. So that is something we need to be aware of and strategic with as investors, knowing that the price is just one thing. And just because it's cheap to you does not necessarily mean that it's the best investment. So that's what I wanted to point out there. We're seeing lots of incentives as well, directed at out of province investors. And some of them are great. Some of them you really need to do your kind of homework on and what might make sense. And the best tip I can give you if you're wanting to look at these types of options too is work with someone in Calgary, work with someone that knows the market, because because Calgary is so hot right now, there's realtors from all over this country promoting Calgary that have never been there. And that is dangerous. And we don't want to encourage that. So please reach out. We'll absolutely help you. So I want to talk about these two items. Secondary suites by far in Calgary. So a single family house with a basement, a semi-detached with a basement suite have been the most stable and predictable residential opportunity that Calgary has had through my whole career. It doesn't matter what the market condition has been. They have worked in every single one of them. So I'm a huge, huge fan of them. The city of Calgary is really on board for legalizing illegal suites, for adding new suites. They have waived development fees. They've kind of rolled out the red carpet for us as investors to be adding suites. And it is now also permitted use throughout the whole city. So very easy to be getting into this space, whether it's basement suites or backyard suites. The second one from the land development side of things, I've heard many other speakers talk about that, is this housing crisis in Canada is forcing municipalities to look at their own legislation, and it's no different in Calgary. So we have a blanket rezoning happening now to RCG for any of the single family type of homes, which means you can put up to 8 units on many, if not most, single family housing lots in Calgary. So that's going to change the development landscape considerably. And there is this new middle housing type of zoning in place as well that has made way for plenty of development opportunities. So if that's of interest, the city is really making it easy. They are waiving fees, they're relaxing their requirements, and they're pushing through applications. So it's much quicker than it's ever been to get your development permits through. It's a matter of, weeks, 6 weeks-ish, where it used to be 6 months. So it can be significantly quicker than many other areas as well. So I want to talk about multifamily too. On the residential side, my favorite strategy is secondary suites, whether that's duplexes, fourplexes. On the commercial side, I want to talk about 2 different strategies. This is actually one of our properties, the Bergen. And this type of building, this purpose-built newer construction, works really, really well in Calgary. It can be a little bit hard to find, but I am hopeful with how much the city has kind of relaxed some rules. We will see more and more of this, but purpose-built opportunities are out there from 6 plexes to 8 plexes and up. We get access to, 6 units, 200 units. We really have the connections in the industry for any size of acquisition that you're looking at in Calgary. And there's a lot of underperforming opportunities as well. So if you're interested in doing a bit of work, doing a bit of project, the big celebratory thing about multifamily in Alberta, if you're trying to do a BRRRR or something that's underperforming, you can completely right that ship within 12 months in Alberta. There is no rent control. There is no restriction on what you can raise the rent once per year on, or not renewing a tenancy is also acceptable. So within a matter of a year, you can take an underperforming property, turn it around, and be 100% on track for what you want to do with it, which, if you know the multifamily game, is how you make significant capital, make significant returns on improving your net operating income in such a short period of time. A lot of these landlords have honestly been managing this on their own for decades. There's a lot of family-owned properties. They were just kind of, maintaining through the pandemic and maintaining through some tough years Alberta had. And they are not, let us die. They are not raising the rents or managing these properties the way that they should be, which is a great opportunity for you guys. With all of this, thinking long-term is paramount for Alberta. True wealth in real estate is made long-term, but I do think when we get these boom hot markets, it's really easy to think short-term. And I do think, let's keep that maintaining, a paramount lesson in real estate, that true wealth is gained long-term. Oh, and my slides are moving as well. Oh, sorry. Oh, is it back? No.
I'll
Switch it out. Okay, so before I go, I do want to, I'm just going to put up this slide here. So we've talked about condos. We have pre-construction. Also on the condo side, sorry, I didn't mention, there's great opportunities on just picking up condos, existing condos, resale condos. There's a few properties that you can do short-term rentals as well. I know that's a hot topic in this country in the investor side. We have the first of its kind zoned for short-term rentals in Calgary downtown. The entire building is zoned for short-term rentals. So that is really exciting to see our city taking some initiative there to provide some solutions. And then we have a couple pre-construction projects that we love. If we're not promoting the project, it's because we don't like it for some reason. And so if we're promoting it, it's something we would invest in ourselves. So I want to put up this slide. And if you fill out this QR code, we have an entire Google Drive filled with hand-picked opportunities that we have selected and the information you need for them with cash flow sheets. And we have hand-selected these and done all of the analysis and numbers ourselves. Of course, please do your own analysis. But I wanted to highlight, when you get sent this, there's going to be two main things I want you to look at. One is legally suited properties, which we talked about, to get 2 doors. So for 690,000-ish, high 600s, you can get a brand new legally suited property in Calgary that we will manage for you in-house if you need. And these do cash flow, even at kind of today's rates, about $125 to $150 a month after property management and all expenses. But if you are really seeking higher cash flow, we have many clients who have converted these now to short-term rentals. And they're cash flowing 700 plus a month on these. So what I love about single family space is you can maneuver and change as the markets adapt. And these suited type of properties are the best thing to do that with. There's no condo board overlooking what you're doing. And the city of Calgary only requires you to have a license, and that's it to operate. So these work really, really well. Suited properties. We've sold hundreds of these in recent years, and we manage hundreds of them as well. They're my top choice for residential. And then in there as well, there's a development called the Grove. And this is a pre-construction project in Airdrie that I'm really excited about, built by Minto. And these pricings start in the high 200s. So very affordable. My top choice is a 2-bed, 1-bath unit, and it's in the mid 300s. And we're offering for our team to manage it for you for free for the first year as well. And it'll cash flow about $100. These are a great pre-construction opportunity that you can take advantage of, waiting to get your mortgage, waiting to close, and they'll close in about 2 years' time. So in the drive, you'll find that and other opportunities. You'll also find a couple examples of our commercial deals that we have as well, if you're on the commercial side. But other than that, what I would suggest, if you're interested in Calgary, to sit down and meet with us. We offer a strategy session and consultation to learn about you and what you're looking for and get all your questions answered. And we're here to help with everything that you need in Calgary. So thank you.